Welcome to the Moon Manifesting Podcast with Kyra Howearth. Hi, I'm Kyra, business astrologer, moon manifesting mama, author, teacher, and mentor. I teach you how to harness the energy of the moon, stars, and cosmos so you can manifest your dreams and discover a deeper purpose to your life. Hey there, welcome back to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. I hope you are all having an amazing week. So I'm coming in with this episode a bit late, and I thought, maybe I'll just leave it until next Wednesday and then I'll just go back into my usual routine. But I kind of woke up this morning and I was like, nope, I can just do whatever I like. So hello, coming to you a bit out of my usual podcast schedule. So today I'm going to be sharing with you pretty much a vulnerable episode about why I didn't show up last week. Why was there no podcast episode last week? I pretty much burnt myself out. So I'm going to be sharing a bit about the lessons I've learned from burning out, and some tips to help you so that maybe you can stop yourself getting burnt out. You can prevent yourself going through what I've just been through, but also just some important lessons that I think we all need to take on at different times of our lives so that we don't completely fall off and disappear, and so that we still have the energy to keep going and keep pursuing the things that really matters to us. So let's talk about exactly what happened. So last week, as I said, I was pretty burnt out. I spent most of last week in bed, which is so unusual for me. As I spent the week in bed, I had a lot of time to think, and it occurred to me that I've never actually spent a whole week in bed during my entire adult life. So just let that sink in a bit, because I'm letting that sink in as I'm saying this out loud, because knowing that I have had 4 children as well, even during my pregnancies and having birth, I've never been able to stay in bed for a whole week just to give myself permission to rest. I've always felt like I've needed to do everything and be all the things, and that I just couldn't give myself permission to stop until last week. And last week I really felt so burnt out because I have been trying so hard with my family, with keeping on top of homeschooling. I've been trying so hard with my business. I am, for most of the time at the moment, I am the main or the only income provider for our entire family. And that has definitely been a burden on me because, it's been a bit of an unexpected shift. And it's really been scary to have all that pressure on me. And so, there was a lot of different factors, and I just, maybe you can relate. Maybe you have felt like this in the past, or maybe you're feeling on the edge of this now, where you're feeling so overwhelmed with all the burdens on you. You're feeling so stressed out because you're trying so hard and nothing's working. And that's where I was. And then before I knew it, I just could not deal with it anymore. And I just, pretty much stayed in bed for a whole week. And I read books. I read the Bridgerton series. I read 6 of those books and a few others in between as well. So it was all good. It wasn't wasted time. It was important downtime. So let's talk about the lessons that I learnt from spending a week in bed and being really burnt out. So my number one lesson that I learned is that it's okay to rest. And I feel that this is so important, especially as mompreneurs. We often feel like we have to do everything because we are trying to raise a family, and we're trying to run the household, and we're trying to run a business. And I'm sure that there's like a million other things that you can add to your list as well that you do. So mompreneurs, we're definitely a special breed of ambitious women who want to be everything and do everything. And often that means that we don't prioritize rest. And I see this sometimes with mums who are working, and they may not necessarily be mompreneurs. They may just have a job and I shouldn't say just a job, like a job is hard work too. But often we have so much stuff on our plate and we don't prioritize our self-care. We don't prioritize actual downtime. And maybe if we do have that downtime, maybe we're still working. Like if we go on a retreat, maybe we're still working while we're supposed to be resting, and that sort of thing. So it's okay to rest is my biggest thing I want to really reiterate throughout this entire episode, is that it is okay to rest. It is okay to give yourself permission to stop, to slow down, to pull back, to stop showing up on social media for a few days, to miss a podcast episode, to do whatever it is that you need to do so that you can fill up your cup, so that you're not trying to give when your cup is empty and you have nothing left to give. So the second thing, my second lesson that I want to share is that downtime is necessary. Whoa, downtime is necessary. That, as I said that, I was like, oh my God, downtime is necessary. That really hit a chord, because for so long I've felt like downtime is such a waste of time. Like I've constantly felt like I've needed to be productive in some area of my life, whether I'm being productive for, making dinner, or being productive in my business, or being productive with whatever else is going on, housework, kids, whatever. And sometimes we forget that downtime is so necessary for so many reasons. Downtime helps us recharge our energy so that we can raise our vibes and we're not just going through all the motions and just kind of feeling like, oh, another thing. And that is like literally my life. It's always just like, oh, what next? So downtime is necessary so that you can recharge your energy. Downtime is also necessary to boost your creativity. And this is a really funny thing that I wasn't really conscious of until I came out of my downtime and I realized, hey, I'm feeling a bit more creative now. And I hadn't really realized that there was kind of a downward trend on how creative I was feeling. And spending some time away from my business and spending some time just away from life in general and just immersing myself into my bed and some books, I've come out of that little cocoon feeling a lot more creatively inspired. I've been able to, I guess, see the world in a different lens now because I'm feeling recharged and refreshed and rested. I'm finding myself with more energy to create new things. And one of the things that really helped me kind of get out of this spiral of burnout and feeling low, my vibes are really down, I got my journal, and usually my journal is just like my daily ritual pages, and sometimes I'll put in other pages as needed. And last week I didn't even touch my journal. So on the weekend I was like, okay, Kyra, you need to get out of this slump. You need to pick up your energy. So I picked up my journal and I decided making like a journal page just of what I was feeling. It was actually about how to own your dragon time. This is the journal page I did first in my journal, which was just about like supporting yourself like during PMS and menstruation and that sort of period of your life. And I had so much fun just like creating this little illustrated page in my journal. And I was feeling so creative that I just kept going in my journal, making more little pages, little just creative pages. And it didn't follow a structure. It was so different from the way that I usually use my journal. And I had forgotten that I have so much creativity that I can pour it into my journal and make it this beautiful creative space of the things I love, rather than just using it as a tool for my daily rituals, for recording my daily to-do lists and my daily tarot cards and the planetary positions of the current day and that sort of thing. So my downtime helped me unleash my creativity. So my third lesson I want to share is that it's so important to heal yourself so that you can heal your business. So one of the things that had really got me down last week, being so honest here, is that I hadn't had any sales. And as I mentioned, I am the main income earner in my family at the moment, for a few different reasons. And I was like so stressed out because I had all this weight on me. Like, oh my God, I've got to make money. I've got to provide enough money so that we can pay for food, so we can pay off our mortgage, so I can pay that electricity bill and the water bill. And like, it literally, I had all these bills coming in and I had no money coming in. I had no income. Sales were like, it just completely flatlined. I was just like, oh my God, what's going on? And this really kind of sent me into this downward spiral where I was like starting to feel burnt out because I was trying so hard and not getting anything in return. And so what I learned from taking a week off my business is that healing myself, so spending a week in bed because that's what my body just really needed. I was menstruating, so I just really needed some time off from everything. My mood just was so dark, hormonal imbalances, everything. So I really just focused on healing myself. And the funny thing happened that by the end of the week, as I was starting to feel a bit more healed and rested and recharged, the sales started trickling back in. Like, I woke up one morning, I think it was Saturday morning, and I checked my emails and it was like, new order. And then the next day, new order. And the orders have just come trickling in again. Now that I have healed my own energy, it's starting to heal my business as well. And it's actually like a really interesting thing, how energy works. Particularly like, when we are running our own businesses, our businesses really reflect the energy that we're holding. And so if we're in a low vibe, then our business vibes also go down. So when my vibe started to raise, I started to see a lot more traction with my business, with a lot of like the behind the scenes things that I was struggling with. They started to shift back into place as well, the more I healed myself. And when my vibes were really down last week, guess what happened? My website got hacked again, which like that happened about 3 months ago, late last year. And it was just so devastating. And for that to happen again, I was just like, what the hell? Seriously, like on top of a bad week where I was already feeling so low, and it happened again. And looking back, reflecting on it, it was like, well, no wonder that happened. My vibes were so low. I just really wasn't in the right mindset for running my business. I was probably attracting all this negative energy into my business. I really learnt my lesson there about how important it is to heal myself, to heal my business. Often we think it's like the business, there's something wrong with the business, like our marketing efforts aren't working, or maybe it's the products or services that we're selling. Maybe there's something wrong there. But for me, what I have found over and over again is that our energy is really what's holding us back. It's our energy that's holding us back from attracting those sales. It's our energy that's holding us back from getting new clients. It's our energy. So when you can heal yourself, heal your body, heal your energy, heal your emotions, that's going to have a ripple effect through the rest of your business. So another thing that I learned from spending a week in bed is that it's okay to go back to basics. Often we get so caught up with like a never-ending to-do list. There's like a billion things that we feel like we need to do. But in actual fact, we don't need to do many of those things. So through shedding my to-do list and, well, not even having a to-do list for like a whole week, which was just like crazy, I found that when I just went back to the basics of looking after myself, making sure that I'm nourishing my body with good food, having my supplements, having my herbs, using my essential oils, all those different things, when I just went back to the basics, okay, like, what do I need to do today? And a lot of the time, like when I wasn't just looking after myself, I was doing some real simple things with my kids. Like there were multiple times that we would grab a different photo album off the bookshelf and we just lay in one of the kids' beds and look at photos and have that real quality time. And there was a few different things like that where it just made me feel like, okay, go back to the basics. I don't need to do all these other things. I just need to do one thing at a time. So that was really refreshing to be able to shed the things that don't really matter and focus on my priorities, which for me was recharging my energy and also, yeah, having that quality time with my kids, which was really beautiful. It was really interesting because I was sitting there one day and I was just feeling so depressed and my vibes were so low. And my youngest daughter, she's 6, she came into my space and she was like, I want to pull a card. And I was like, oh, okay, what oracle deck do you want? Anyway, so she picked an oracle deck and I let her pull a few cards, and it was actually really beautiful because I think I've recorded quite a few podcast episodes in the past about, like, you know, transforming your depression and that sort of thing. And one of the things I always say is pull a card. And I hadn't been pulling any cards for the whole week. And so when my daughter just walked in and out of the blue asked to pull some cards, I was like, oh, you're so sweet. It was just what I needed. And so the last lesson that I want to share with you is realign with your priorities. So sometimes, like, we get so busy doing all these things, but they're actually not aligned with our priorities. And so having that time off last week, I realized, okay, what are the things that I really want to prioritize? And there were just so many things that I had been ignoring that were actually what I really wanted to do. And so, yeah, taking that time off really allowed me to reprioritize what really matters to me. Sometimes we just kind of fall out of alignment. Like, we get caught up in, like, oh, this person told me to do this, and oh, I need to do this for this person. And we think that we need to do all these things. And often, well, for me, I find I'm trying to please other people. I'm doing things for other people. And we forget about the things that we actually really want to do, or the things that really matter to us, our big goals. And something that really helps me with this is looking back at the goals that I set at the start of the year. So I use my 2023 Moon Manifesting Planner to set goals at the start of the year. There's a huge section in there about, you know, the goals that you want to set for yourself in different areas of your life. And so looking back through that, it was like, okay, this is actually where I need to be. This is where I want to go. I don't need to worry about any of this other stuff because it doesn't matter. It's not aligned with those goals. So that was a really important lesson for me to learn through, having a bit of burnout and spending a whole week in bed. So I have some tips for you. If you are feeling like you're on the verge of burnout or you want to prevent burnout, here are some tips to help you get through this time of your life. And it will pass. It will pass. If you're feeling really low, your vibes are really low, you're feeling like I was last week where you just like, nah, don't want anything to do with it, just want to spend the week in bed and do nothing. Here are some tips to help you. Number one, look on your natal chart, on your astrology natal chart, for where your 12th house is. So the 12th house in astrology is all about rest, recharging, connecting to your deeper purpose. So really, one of the best ways to prevent burnout is when the sun is moving through your 12th house every year, and the sun will be moving through your 12th house for around about 4 weeks, give or take a few weeks maybe. This is the most important time to take a break. Close off your calendar for taking any new bookings or clients. Go on a retreat. Go on a holiday. Do whatever it is that you need to do so that you can actually take time off. Maybe you can just schedule a whole week where you can just lay in bed and read trashy historic fiction type things or whatever it might be. Like, just look at when that's going to be. So if you are looking at your natal chart and you're like, I have no idea, which is possibly the case. Okay, so if you don't already have a natal chart, you can get a free one at astro.com or astro-charts.com, or just Google free natal chart. And you'll be looking at the 12th house. So it should be clearly labeled where the 12th house is. So let's say that your 12th house starts at like 13 degrees Libra and ends at 25 degrees Scorpio. That's my 12th house approximately. And what you'll need to do then is figure out when the sun is at 13 degrees Libra and when the sun is at 25 degrees Scorpio. So for me, if I have just said the right numbers, that works out to be about the 17th of, or the 6th of October through to about the 17th of November. So you can find that out through various websites. I like to use astro-seek.com. They have an ephemeris, which is pretty much just like a calendar, I guess, and every day it shows you like what degree the planets are at. So you want to find out when the sun hits that degree that your 12th house starts and what degree your 12th house ends. And so that is the time frame that the sun is moving through your 12th house, and those are the best times. So this is the best period of the year, and it will be the same time every year, give or take a day, for you to be taking that rest, go on a retreat, go on a holiday, whatever it is that's going to recharge your energy and fill up your cup. So yeah, if you have any trouble finding your 12th house, just reach out. I'll be so happy to help you figure out when it is. Okay, so my next astrological tip to help you prevent burnout and to fill your cup and feel a bit more recharged is to figure out when the next new moon is. So the next new moon will be occurring around the 21st of March, depending where you are in the world, maybe 20th to 21st of March, 2023. This will be the dark moon in Pisces. And the dark moon is that day or two before the new moon. This is the time of the moon cycle when our energy is at its lowest. So when your energy is at its lowest, this is of course the best time to rest. Because if your energy is low and you're pushing through, like, you're not going to get far, and it's just going to feel like such a struggle. So why not just block off that day from anything that's too important or that you just don't have the energy for, and yeah, you can come back to it after the dark moon whenever it feels good for you. But blocking off some time in the dark moon for some self-care. Maybe you might like to just run yourself a bath that night, or maybe go to a day spa, or go get a massage, or just take the day off, or whatever it might be. Whatever your soul is calling for, use that dark moon energy to take care of yourself. So some more tips that aren't necessarily astrological. Book in regular retreats, time off, and downtime. I've been making it a priority since COVID has lifted, and now that we're starting to come out and travel a bit more, to go on regular retreats. So I went on a retreat last year and it was amazing. And I also went on another trip, a kid-free trip last year, which was absolutely amazing. And I had an entire night just to myself to just do nothing and just do whatever I wanted. I did yoga and it was just beautiful with no interruptions. I've been finding that regular time off has been so important, especially if you're like me and you're juggling lots of different things, business, parenting, homeschool, the lot. That downtime is so important. So when you can schedule that in regularly, so it just doesn't get pushed off to the side and down on your list of priorities, and you actually make it happen, it is going to make such a difference to the rest of your life, because you just cannot give from an empty cup. So yeah, booking in regular retreats, whether that's actually going on an organized retreat. I'm going back to the Spiritual Homemakers Retreat in South Australia in May 2023. So if you're a mumpreneur and that's something that's down your alley, make sure you check that out. But time off as well, like regular kid-free time. I have so little kid-free time lately because we are homeschooling all of my kids and I work from home. And it's just something that definitely gets pushed down on my list of priorities because we just don't have that much support with the kids and taking them off our hands. I really try to prioritize some downtime, whether that's just shutting myself in the bathroom for an hour to have a peaceful bath. The kids know if they walk in and I'm doing yoga that they just need to walk back out because mummy's doing yoga. So things like that, where you can set some boundaries and just really immerse yourself in some downtime where you're prioritizing you, and your family knows, this is your time. Do not disturb mummy, or whatever it might be. Prioritizing that downtime. So another tip for you is to take things off your to-do list. If you're starting to feel really overwhelmed, if you're looking at your list of things to do, reconsider, like, do you actually need to be doing all of these things? Can you take some of these things off your list? Can you maybe delegate it to someone else, outsource it? Can you hire someone else to do it? Maybe get your kids to do it. If you have a bunch of chores that need doing and you're stressed out because you've got a billion other things to do, get your kids to do it. I should really take some of my own advice and get my kids to help me out. And my final tip is that you don't have to be everything or do everything. And this is something that I fall into a lot. And I'm constantly trying to remind myself that I don't have to be everything and do everything. But yeah, it's hard because we want to do so many things and we want to make the world a better place and we want the people around us to be happy. But sometimes we just need to take a step back and realize, okay, I actually don't need to do all this. I can prioritize myself. I can do something for me instead. So yeah, those are some tips to help you. I hope that helps. So before I close off this episode, I would like to invite you to the next round of the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind. This is my twice annual business mastermind that I run. We are now into the 4th round of the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind, and this is probably going to be my most favorite round. I'm really so excited for this because not only are you getting 6 months of group coaching and all the goodness that comes with that, I'll talk to you about that in a second, but we're also going to be having a beautiful retreat, a luxurious business retreat in September towards the end of the mastermind, where you'll have the opportunity to integrate everything that we've learned and to immerse yourself in healing. The retreat will be held during Virgo season, so we're really going to be focusing on nourishing our bodies at this retreat. There's going to be yoga, there's going to be cacao ceremonies, there's going to be wellness workshops, there's going to be sound healing, there's going to be so much just like soul nourishing goodness. I really cannot wait to share this with the beautiful mastermind members who join the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind. So the retreat is included with your mastermind payments. So yeah, back to what's actually included in the mastermind itself, not just the retreat. The entire mastermind is a 6-month group coaching program. We have group coaching calls every fortnight on each new and full moon, where we are working with that lunar energy in your business. So even if your business has absolutely nothing to do with astrology, it's all about how to use astrology in the back end of your business to find more flow, to create more abundance, and find more purpose with your work. Using astrology is really like a hack for your business because it's your cheat sheet to marketing, to finding your soulmate clients, to creating soul-aligned branding, to doing so many things that all business owners do. But with astrology, it's really like, this is what, this is the energy of what you need to be feeling into. I really love using astrology for businesses because it really works. When you're tuning into astrology, you're tuning into what everyone else is feeling. So you can use that for your marketing. You can use that for making magnetic branding that really captures the soul essence of your business. We go through all of this and so much more inside the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind over our 6 months together. And you'll also get 3 one-on-one calls with me personally, where I can help you with anything in your business. That's including strategy, coaching, mentoring, or even if you just need some intuitive guidance, we can use those calls for tarot or astrology readings for you and or your business. We also have an exclusive private community just for our mastermind members where you can collaborate, connect, and share with like-minded soulpreneurs. So it's really an immersive experience that will see you on a beautiful journey of either starting or growing your business in alignment with your soul, your purpose, and doing what lights you up and making money by doing it. So I'm really excited to share that with you. There are only a few places for the mastermind, So make sure you don't miss out. If this is something that is calling to you, if you know you need help with shifting the energy in your business, maybe you're feeling a bit like how I was feeling at the start of this episode, feeling pretty burnt out, feeling like nothing's working. This business mastermind could be just what you need to shift your energy and start attracting more abundance in your business. You'll find all the details for the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind in the show notes below, or head to kyrahowearth.com.au/mastermind. So I hope that this episode has been so helpful for you to prevent burnout, or maybe if you're feeling on the edge of burnout, to maybe start shifting that energy so you can fill your cup and start feeling better about yourself and your business. Because I know firsthand just how bad it can feel when you're trying so hard and you're burning yourself out trying to do all the things and you're just not seeing the results. So yeah, I really hope that this helps you shift things around, because I was there last week. It was not a nice feeling. But yeah, I'm here to tell the tale. I'm here on the other side now, and I'm here to help you through this. Let me know if this episode struck a chord with you, if it resonated with you. Feel free to hit me up for a chat at kyrahowearth.official on Instagram or Facebook. I always love hearing if you're listening to my episodes on the podcast and if they're making a meaningful impact in your life. I'd love to know if some of these tips that I've shared with you today were really helpful, if maybe you're going to implement that 12th house season tip that I shared with you, or maybe the dark moon, maybe setting up some self-care rituals for the dark moon. Let me know what you decide to do for your self-care so that you can fill your cup. All right, stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I will talk with you all real soon on the next episode of the Moon Manifesting Podcast. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. If you're wanting more moon magic, check out my book, Moon Manifesting. Download your free Moon Manifesting calendar or connect with me on social media. You can do all of that at kyrahowearth.com.au. Stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I'll speak with you in the next episode.